Hello travellers, welcome to the Battle in Barrow, and we are returning to Middle-earth, hence I'm wearing this helmet, because today we are going to be looking at Games Workshop's Rise of Angmar for their superb Middle-earth strategy battle game. Going to be taking a look inside and asking the question, is this worth getting? A lot of you may not know, but this channel started out under the name of Tales of Middle-earth, and it was solely dedicated to this game. And even before then, back in the early 2000s, I used to run a website called thelastalliance.com dedicated to this game. And yeah, so I love this game. I even in the early days worked on it, playtesting it, and sort of you'll see my name in the early sort of first edition, if you like, rule books and supplements. I love this game. And we haven't done a lot of it on the channel since. It's been really focused on D&D, but we're going to diversify the content. But yeah, so this is the latest supplement for the game, and it is the last supplement for the current edition. For in a few months' time, a new edition's coming out based upon the War of the Rohirrim movie, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, so we're going to be looking to say, is this worth getting, as it's the last supplement for a, it's going to have a very short shelf life. I dare say you could probably still use this. Yeah, so with that in mind, let's put it down on the table and have a look at it. Okay, here it is. It's what you'd expect. It's hardback, lovely hardback, lovely glossy cover, image from the movie, in the same style as the other supplements. If this is your first supplement, you of course don't know what the other supplements look like, but if you are, then it's recognisable for this edition of the game. Inside it is this lovely glossy paper, as per the other supplements. It is, where's the good page? It is stitch bound rather than glue bound, full colour throughout. It utilises a mixture of art from the film, so stills from the film, miniature setups, sometimes on the same sort of layout page here, so, and sort of custom bits of art that sort of come just to fill in gaps at the bottom. Some of it line drawings such as this you're seeing here and here, and then others are, I'll get there in a minute, full colour. We have seen these before. This is from, I believe, the old Ruin of Arnor supplement. This guy here, there he is. But when art is this good, I always say I don't mind art being reused across multiple products when it's good art. So yeah, the inner sleeve, the inner pages have the movie map of Middle-earth. I still have this hanging on my wall somewhere in the Battle in Barrow, and it's front and back. You have a bookmark ribbon, which is always useful if you're doing a book. Game developers, game publishers, this, always one of these, great. Quotes from the movie, first page here. Typical Games Workshop fashion is it's just produced by the Middle-earth team. You don't get a breakdown on who did what, so I don't know who drew the art, who did the cartography, who did the layout, who did the game development. That's something Games Workshop do, and that is, I don't like that. I like attribution, as it were. Is that a word, attribution? Right. Contents starts off with an introduction first, and this, if you're new to it, new to Middle-earth strategy battle game, this is how all the supplements for this edition are laid out, and if you're familiar with it, you'll be familiar with this. Our introduction, this goes through what we're to expect. We have a history, then we start with a history of the sort of area or the faction that they're covering. We have the narrative scenarios, so these all, you can play these individually if you like, or you can play them as a campaign, which it covers next. Now if you play them as a campaign, the winner gets a little boon, if you like, for a forthcoming scenario. It doesn't necessarily be the next scenario, which we'll cover in a minute, but it can help you out at some point in the future. It's the armies, so all the armies that are relevant to this area or this faction, and legendary legions, which we'll cover if you don't know what they are, which I'm assuming you do later. And it's a bit of terrain. Back in the day, it would be either a showcase of a custom build or showing you how to make some terrain. But nowadays, Games Workshop are sort of making some awesome terrain kits, so it's normally covering those, and that's no different here. And appendices, an appendix, just one. These are some extra scenarios that are kind of related, and Legendary Legions that are related tangentially to the area on faction, but not directly, and then a showcase. Now, I'll talk about that in a moment. Now, we're going to cover the scenario. So it's the history first. So the history is really nice and detailed, and actually more lore accurate and sympathetic to Tolkien's works than Amazon's Rings of Power. So yeah, Games Workshop more accurate to Tolkien than Rings of Power is. It has a nice breakdown as well of Tell Me Years. I like these. I like these in any sort of game system I use. Just a little ditty of what happened in that year, the important events. Scenarios. Okay, and this is the bread and butter for me of these kind of books, because I love narrative play. I'm not really into pitch battles. Narrative play is great. So we have some scenarios. They are all in the same vein across this edition. Introduction, background about what is going on, the layout, and this era is like harkens back to the first era of this game, where it had pencil drawn maps, sort of middle edition, the One Ring edition. Let's see if I can find them quickly. Didn't have that. We had where are the scenarios in this one? There's only a few, isn't there? At the back we had, which is still quite cool, and you'd think I'd like this, these sort of 3D board layouts, kind of like this as well. I'm not saying this is bad, but for me there's something just really nostalgic about this. It just takes me back to watching those movies. Starting positions, so we have a layout, some starting positions, which are shown on the map. Objectives, I kind of like this, asymmetrical a lot of the time in these games. Evil's trying to do one thing, good's trying to do another, and you're trying to fight them. So that's why I always love narrative play. It's really interesting. Asymmetrical is great. Any special rules for the scenarios and the participants for this. So we have the founding of Angmar, Assault on Rivendell, the war begins, the fall of Rudar, defense of Tien Gothad, fall of Amon Sul, a defense of Fornost, maraudering of Cardolan, an unlikely ally, the Great Plague, and the rising of the Baradowns, assault on Fornost, the fall of Arnor, the flight of the North, aid to Fornost, and the Battle of Fornost, the fall of Minas Ithil, the last sighting of Arnor. Yeah, and then just to cover, just skip ahead while we're talking about scenarios, at the end there are appendices. Yeah, just for this. And so what these are, this covers the events that are sort of later on than what this is taking part, but still related. So ambushing Rudar, so we're still in the area, but it's in the Third Age. We're doing with Arathorn. Then we have the trap is sprung, so this is still with Arathorn and still in the same area. Aragorn's revenge, so and we've now got Arathorn is dead, spoilers. And the Terror of Arnor with a Gulavar. And with that, these names ring a bell. So yeah, looking at the sort of scenarios that are available, some of these names look quite familiar, and that is because some of the names are taken straight from here, which is the old sort of Arnor, North, Angmar type supplement. Came out, when was it? 2006? 2006. Wow, 18 years ago. But some of the supplements scenario names are sort of referenced there. So let's have a quick look to see, are they the same? Have they just sort of updated some of these scenarios, or have they just stolen the names? So yeah, let's have a compare of just the contents, because I do recognise some of these names. Okay, so there's obviously not as many in this 2006 edition. We have To Kill a King. That is not there. Flight into the North. Flight into the North is there on both. So we have Flight in the North and Flight in the North. So 52 on this one. So let's have a quick. I'm just generally interested. 36 on here. Let's see how many are they just updated. So this is on a massive 4x6 board. So layout. This is on a 4x6 board. We have some North Downs, and I don't know, it should be ruins, trees, hedges, and other undergrowth. Board's going with rocky outcrops, ruins. Yeah, okay. Objectives. Good side wins immediately if Avadui can escape the northern board edge. Evil player wins by killing Avadavi if he escapes via the north. Good wins if he escapes via the northern edge. Managed to reclaim the palette. So it's slightly different. It's sort of based upon, but then upped a little bit. So yeah, you can see here we have the Terror of Arnor and the Palantir. The good have to get the Palantir off the board. Whereas this, he's just got to escape off the board. So it doesn't have to be Arvadui like it is here. Here I'm just assuming that he's the one carrying it. Here it's just the Palantir is the main objective, so you can pass it on. Got to say I prefer this already. Okay. That's interesting. Are the participants the same? So we have 12 Warriors of Arnor, only 9 here, and we have Rangers. We have Rangers here, so we have less Warriors of Arnor in the original, more here. Gudavar, a Barrow White. This one's probably off. Barrow White. 6 Angmar Orcs, so we do have some Orc Warriors here, and it looks like there are 6. 4 werewolves, so the wargs have been replaced by werewolves. Interesting, so that could be interesting to play. Head back to the contents to see what we got. So that's Flight in the North. Battle of Fornost. I did see Battle of Fornost. Yep, 40. So that is another one. That's the big end battle almost, I think. So Battle of Fornost is 54. Okay, it looks again similar layout here. You can see this corner here taking with the ruins. Objectives: play anywhere within the board, starting positions anywhere on the northeastern side for evil, and evil animals behind the walls of Fornost. So yeah, these are updated scenarios. Not exactly the same, but the concept is the same. So that's interesting. I would say from reading these are better from what I remember. Let's see how many more we've got. So I don't think any of these are in here. The Fall of Minas Ithil and the Last Sighting of Arnor. But Killer King. Ambush in Rudar is here. Aragon's Revenge. And the Terror of the North is here. So Ambush in Rudar. I don't know how much. We might as well have a look at all 3 now. Mightn't we? While we're here. Ambush in Rudar. It's 56. Might have a deep look to see if these are inspired by. I say yes. Here we have some ruins. It's 4x4. 4x4 involves Brudar. So it's Brudar, some chieftain, wild wargs and orcs, 2 trolls. Brudar does not appear here. It's Angmar orcs and a hill troll, whereas this has 2 cave trolls and Brudar. So a bit of difference there. Objectives: game lasts to 1 turn, which player completely gave. Turn 1 to 8 models can move off the edge. So whilst the concept and the board layout's the same, the actual end result on that one is fairly different. So the next one is Aragon's Revenge. so looking at Aragorn's Revenge now. Yeah, the board, it's similar, but objectives are, this one has Bruda, and this one does have Bruda as well. This one's more, seems to be more in line. Good player wins if Bruda is slain in this. Objectives, good player wins if, yeah, so this one is probably more in line. So let's have a look at the last one. Terror of Arnor, so I think this is going to be quite similar. Gulliver is going to start here. Starting position, Gulliver's in the centre of the board. Participants are Spectres and Gulliver, so we have more Spectres. But yeah, so these were pretty much inspired from Ruin of Arnor. Next up, it's the campaign. This is taken all those scenarios and it lists them here, including the appendices. So we go from 1 to 18. There isn't anything for 18 because that is the end one, and the appendice scenarios 1 to 3. Again, the fourth one you won't get anything because that's the last one. And what it does is you play these in order, and you play it with your friends, and you both stick with good or evil. Potentially could swap, but throughout the whole 18 games plus the 4 appendices, you will put one person plays good, the other plays evil. And let's say we're playing the first one, the founding of Angmar. If good wins, in the war begins scenario, Argaleb may re-roll fail fate rolls, and if evil wins, in the war begins scenario, the evil player can choose to automatically gain priority while on one turn of the game can only be used once. So if you win this one, you're going to get some bonuses for this one. If you win this one, you're getting bonuses for all the way down here, unlike the ally. If you win this one, you're getting bonuses just for the next one, and so forth and so forth. And it really does add a nice dimension to it. Yeah, I highly recommend, if you're into narrative play and you got these books, playing the using the campaign rules. So that's pretty nifty. Next up is the armies. Now, obviously, with a new supplement, we have potentially new models for an army, new armies, or updating existing armies, and that's what this section here covers in these books. So first up, Arnor. This has appeared before, but we've got updated models. We have, like here, we have a captain of Arnor, Argalir. We have, so what it is, bit of a background for the army in question. The army composition, these are the models that you can use for this army, and then if you're using this army purely from this army list, all your models are made up purely from this army list, you get an army bonus, which is great. Details the strengths or weaknesses of this army to help you choose, and yeah, and then we cover some key models, and then any new rules, any new models for this army list are then presented here, showing some lovely photographic work here. And there's some new ones here. We have Arnaf, first captain of the Dunedain, Argadir, captain of Arnor, and a knight of Arnor. This is great. Warriors of Arnor on horses, on steeds, and it covers their, if you break down the profile, their war gear, any heroic actions they take, and the special rules. Some are just the special rules, like keywords listed from the main rulebook. Others are completely solely unique to this profile. This one here is Chieftain of the Dunedain. It gives you a bit of flavour text in italics, and then the rules underneath. If your force includes this lad, Rangers of the North and Dunedain in your force. If you include this lad, you can include Rangers of the North and Dunedain in your force if they were from the Arnor army list. As I'm assuming they are not. If we look here, they are not normally part of this army list, Dunedain and Rangers of the North. If you include this lad, they can be. Additionally, friendly Rangers within 6 foot of the lad count as being in a range of a battle. You know, it adds uniqueness to the game. Also in here is because sometimes the armies in these supplements come out after other supplements, so this is an update, and this is an update to battle companies. And let's face it, battle companies is awesome. You should do more battle companies on the channel. So this will allow you to allow these new armies and these new profiles to potentially new profiles to be whacked into a battle company list. And battle companies is great if you're new to Middle-earth SBG. It's kind of like Mordheim for Warhammer Fantasy. Create a small warband. You have points, gold, stuff to upgrade and your warband and personalize it. As you go along, you may lose some models from your warband, or you'll gain reinforcements and what have you, and you'll develop them and make them unique. These lads can become heroes. They could die, they can get injuries, permanent injuries, and yeah, it's a real fun way of playing the game. And if you want to play Middle-earth SBG and you're worried about costs of getting a whole army, I would say start with this. This is a nice, cheap way of getting into this game. Next up, we have army lists for Rangers, following the same sort of suit as we've had. Minas Tirith with this up some new models to add to it. It's already a monster list as it is, obviously, for obvious reasons. Rivendell, yeah, Rivendell's great. Get some new models here. Sort of new army list here. Angmar is up next. Now, Angmar is covers everything from orcs to the new warriors of Khaldun and new models and spectres and ghosts. This would be my go-to evil army. And especially now we have these two new lads here. We have this awesome named orc captain, fantastic, and this evil spooky spectre guy here, fantastic. Finally, hill trolls. I did convert some of mine back in the day to wanted some hill trolls. Some were just as lame as using a cave troll as is. Others were a bit more elaborate, so I wanted some hill trolls. So whilst I got some, I'll definitely be looking into getting these. And some werewolves. If they weren't so blooming expensive on the website, I would get some of those too. But hold on. One difference here is the shade, and you're thinking, well, hasn't the shade been around for a while? But designers note, this replaces the shade found in the Armies of Lord of the Rings book. So this is an updated profile. Does this mean this is the updated profile for the new edition, or will it be updated again at some point? Don't know. But for now, I might do a comparison video of the shades, and perhaps we can do a mini battle, shade versus shade combat, see who wins. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Likewise, we have an Angmar battle companies list, and if I was doing battle companies, I would be doing either of these lists, depending on if we need good or bad. I'd be doing Arnor or Angmar. Fantastic. Next up is Khaldun. Now, this is not necessarily an army on itself, because all of this, what is here, is actually included in the army composition here, and it even says army bonus. This is more focused on giving you the information, because there is a legendary legion, which we'll get onto soon, about this. So this is just giving you some background about that kind of thing. But it goes over, you know, it's Angmar Plus as well. You're getting all the information, extra strengths about this new little mini faction. And then we get some obviously nice detailed profiles with some wicked photography for it. The battle company for Khaldun. Now, keep mentioning legendary legions. Most players will know what this is, but if you don't, what this is armies are normally tied into their regions in Middle-earth. So we have Minas Tirith, we have Rivendell, we have Rohan. As you know, if you've read the books and watched the films, these guys can get together and form an army. And as it is within using the army lists, you can't really do that because you'd lose your army bonus, and there's sort of rules for army composition in the main book. And what legendary legions do is that allows special army lists that are composed of sort of bits from different factions. So Battle of Fornost, for instance, will take things from Gondor, Minas Tirith, Rivendell, the Shire. So we've all got this in, so you can use this army, get different rules, bonuses for it, and don't lose your army bonus and get penalised for mixing and matching. I believe in the new edition there is a talk of legendary legions being almost the main way of playing, which is interesting. So yeah, I guess most people probably go down the legendary legion route because they want to recreate that Middle-earth feel. Middle-earth is all about getting together and giving the opponent a damn good bashing. So here we have the legendary legion. So we had Battle of Fornost, if you want to refill that army on tabletop. An army of Arnor. So yeah, this will have things Rangers of the North and Dunedain in. So that's interesting. I know, gets rid of that other guy's, another lad's special rule, but Host of the Witch King. So again, this is going to be lots of wraiths and undead and orcs, and yep, good list, good list. Army of Khan Dom. So if you want to go pure Khan Dom and not have any spectres and that in your, apart from leaders, here's how you can do that, pull that off. And if you're really brave, wolf out, man, wolf out. So this is basically all the wolves in the game. Wild Wolf Chieftain, Werewolf, Fell Wargs, and Wild Wargs. All the wolves. Hey, I heard you like wolves, dog. Here's a wolf for your wolf in your wolf. Pimp my wolf up. Next up, it's Haunted Ruins Painting Masterclass. Spooky. So yeah, back in the day, this may have been in older supplements, may have been a bit of custom terrain, showing you how to build it. A showcase of already built terrain, but yeah, Games Workshop now do some, back in the day they don't really do terrain for the game, some, but nowadays there's quite a wide selection. So this is more painting them and basing them into look. So these Gondorian ruins can look like they're ruins of Angmar stroke Arnor, and it does a pretty good job of going over the paint. So yeah, you get some painting techniques, some weathering techniques here at the bottom, here, what have you. And then we have the appendix, which you have largely covered with the scenarios, but there are also a couple of legendary legions for the appendices, so Arathorn and Buddha. And finally, there is this showcase. Now, in the past, I've seen this as rather largely useless because we have the web and the Games Workshop website, but Games Workshop's modern website is absolutely pants. It's the gankiest, pantiest gank that's ever ganked. Here's a reconstruction. Oh, I want to buy some Angmar. Games Workshop's site used to have all the factions sort of separated out, making it really easy to find. I hope that hasn't changed. So then this actually becomes really useful. So I can see here with ease these lovely new models in all their fine glory. We here have the werewolf lads, Condom, and all the new stuff. So I can see these and go, oh yeah, these are good. I want to buy these. I've now got to spend 20 hours trying to track these down on this rubbish website. And that is it. So is this worth getting? It all depends. Let's talk about the quality first. Mentioned when we looked at it, it is stitch bound, it is full colour, it is really highly produced as you would expect from a Games Workshop product. But with that comes the curse of buying GW products. That is the price. They are always super expensive, and coming from playing other games in the past few years, coming back to a Games Workshop product, you really notice that price thing. They are way more expensive than most other products. Yeah, the quality's there, sure, but the price, so that comes down to your own preference, your own available funds. I'm going to solely focus on asking if this is worth getting because it is an end of edition product. And I'm still going to say yes, because what's to stop you from utilizing this in the next edition? From its inception, from the early 2000s to now, the game has not changed that much, and I would quite happily play the original scenarios using current day rules. You might have to tweak them a little bit where profile has been tweaked here and there, maybe add a few more enemy warrior models to one side or the other. As you play the game more and more, and different games as well as that, you get a feel for how to adjust things to balance them out, if balance is even if you even care about balance. Sometimes with narrative play, the non-balance of a scenario can be equally as fun as having it like a match play game, because you're focusing on the story and a desperate struggle. So from that, this does not bother me that it's the end of edition product. I'll still be playing this using the new rules, so yeah, not a problem for me. So just to reiterate, yeah, the new the information I have for the new edition states there's not going to be a great deal of change, as you can sort of see looking at this from the Warhammer community. It also says the profiles are going to be more tweaked. Some profiles may not be included, but there will be free PDFs of those rules, and I imagine they're either going to just remain the same, so I've already got those rules so I can still play this, or they'll be tweaked and changed and put into a free PDF, which I'll still use to run this. So yeah, I think this is great. This is probably one of my favourite supplements to come out for this edition. I'm always more about the north than the south. The north's more for adventuring, really. The south, Rohan and Gondor, you know, a battle game's going to focus on those areas because that's where all the big battles are. And that's what normally what Middle-earth strategy battle games done, is heavy focus on south with a few bits and pieces like this. But yeah, so my outro is, I think this is highly worth it, and that will do it for this video. So until the next one, guys, stay safe, take care, bye 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 bye.